Hello, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast. This is a very exciting opportunity to share about empathy for all living beings. Our Interfaith Vegan Coalition is participating in this global online event that is part of the 7 days of rest and radiant diversity. And the intention of the event is to bring together people of all cultures around the world to explore harmony and diversity for the coming year for 2020. And so we're adding our voices to that, our Interfaith Vegan Coalition voices, to enhance and magnify the intentions that we're setting in 2020 for kindness and empathy for all living beings, especially our animal brothers and sisters who are often forgotten or omitted in our statements about compassion and empathy. So today in our program, what we're going to do is include them. So it's a delight to have you with us. I want to thank everyone who's joined us online, who's watching, and also everyone who's joined us within our event. Which is about empathy. So today is day 4 of the 7 days of rest, and day 4 is for empathy. And so that's why we decided to host our event today. So I want to take a moment and thank everyone for joining us, and also let people know who's joined us today. We have people who are part of our Interfaith Vegan Coalition members and other people who've joined us as well. And so what we're going to do is first I'll start off with a wonderful reading from Judy Carman, who is the author of Peace to All Beings. And then we're going to actually go round robin, and each person who feels called will share their vision of empathy for this coming year and coming decade. And it'll be wonderful to hear the voices of each of us, and anyone who's tuning in, you're welcome to share your voices as well, either by typing in a comment in the chat box, or you can join us directly through the webinar or through the live feed. So to inaugurate our event today, I'm going to begin with a little reading from Judy Carman. So Judy, she runs a circle of compassion, and along with Dr. Will Tuttle, and they put together weekly prayers and also daily veg inspirations. So it's a wonderful group if you'd like to tune in to this circle of compassion that they've created. And so during this season of love and peace, many human beings receive the wisdom of the animals. Animals of many species have given comfort, love, and compassion to prisoners, traumatized children, adults who are hurting, and to each other. Mother cows cry for their stolen babies, longing to care for them. A tortoise adopts a frightened baby hippo. We give thanks together for the millions of stories and videos that show the world that, as the song says, it's in every one of us to be wise. We give thanks that the animals are teaching us so well and so beautifully that they are people too, and that we are all family. During this season, when the heart of humanity is more open to truth, we pray for each person to receive a gift. May each one feel an animal's hug in some way and feel their healing warmth and comfort. May we look into the eyes of these animals and see their bright, shining spirits. May all of our fears deep within melt into compassion. May all violence against the animals of the world cease. May all beings live in joy and harmony together, sharing this world of love as brothers and sisters. We give thanks for our community today, that each of us and together as a collective, we are shining the light of truth so that one day soon all beings will be free. Thank you for your faithful prayers, your visionary thoughts, and your devotion to truth, because all of us have this compassion, and it's encircling the earth for all beings everywhere. And that is actually the mantra or the poem or the prayer that the Circle of Compassion puts out each week, which is may compassion and love reign over all of the earth for all beings everywhere. We'll have to thank Judy Carman for that lovely um, poetic introduction to our event today. And now we have an opportunity for each of us to contribute. We'll share our visions of empathy for all beings. And so I think to start it off, I'll go ahead and begin with that, and then we'll invite each person to share, and you can share for however long your your intention or your wish or your gift to humanity and the animals is. And I would say maybe about a minute or so. um, so it's in this moment I'm opening my heart and to share this vision of empathy that I have, that people everywhere, that their consciousness just opens up, just like when we see the sun and how our spirits open to the light of the sun. May the spirits of human beings everywhere open up to the light of the animals that we share this planet with, that the animals, their wisdom, their love, their lessons, their teaching, all comes flooding in as we open our hearts and our minds, and that we can begin to see that these animals as fellow brothers and sisters, as our equals, as beings of love and light, and that they are here along with us to experience their own journeys, and that we're all really together on this planetary ship, floating through space and time and learning together these lessons, and bringing in, just as people everywhere think of this sense of compassion, that this compassion that we feel may expand and expand into ever widening circles so that all animals are included, that we can commune and communicate through our love to all the animals, the plants, the insects, and to all beings. And knowing that in our hearts, this idea of sentience is really key, that we acknowledge there is a difference between plants and animals, and that our love and our compassion and that our laws and our rules and our guiding principles include the animals just as they would the people. That is my vision of empathy for humanity and for the animals for 2020. So I invite someone else. And just for those who tuned in, my name's Lisa Levinson, and I'm the co-founder of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition along with Judy Carman. And I work with in defense of animals and founded the Vegan Spirituality. So those are my contributions, and I'm so delighted to be part of this program today. So who would like to share next? Perhaps I may call on people if that's okay, because it might be easier in this format. Let's see. I wonder if Patricia, would you like to share? You may need to unmute yourself.
Sure will.
Oh, let me see here. Unmute. Maybe I need to do that.
Am I muted now?
Unmute. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. Okay. Well, I like to share in a way that, um, like I'm going into a year, let's say a decade from now. Give myself 10 years to achieve this goal. It might seem a little more realistic. So, and so in 10 years, what I hope to happen is that the Jesus Vegans Interfaith Community and Teaching Center will have, we've taught all these people, and I'm acting as if it's happened already. We've taught community facilitators to go out throughout the world. And these community facilitators are so full of compassion and love, and they lead with that compassion and love, but we teach them to go in with demonstrating to faith-based communities, especially that to extend that circle of compassion to animals. And so when they have things like compassionate living circles, they always have vegan meals, and they're talking about the love, how to have compassion for animals as well as people. And building healthy community, everybody wants that. So our community facilitators are taught who come to this community in the Ozarks, or they can learn online as well. They go out with such a gift to a faith community they might be part of, or maybe they're kind of like a missionary and they go join a church, or find somebody in that church that's vegan that wants help, and they help that church or faith-based community into a community center that teaches all kinds of skills, including something that's real, peer support counseling, where people learn to heal their childhood traumas, where they learn to become whole people. They learn practical skills, like the homeless can come and learn how to get jobs. They learn how to cook vegan meals. They learn how to garden. Well, of course, all these faith-based communities, they have vegan permaculture completely surrounding their the building. Well, every neighborhood has at least one, but in 10 years, most it will be a common thing that every church, faith-based community will be open 24 hours, serving everyone. And guess what? They will all know that it was a vegan that this was a vegan community facilitator that helped this happen. And veganism will get such a good name. And so but I think it actually is probably gonna happen 2026. That veganism will be so popular, everybody will be a vegan. And let it be done according to the will of the highest good of all.
Beautiful. Thank you, Patricia. And how about, let's see, Deborah, would you like to share? Let me unmute you.
Sure. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Um, my vision for 2020 is that people's hearts are open and that we can really begin to see each other through our hearts and really feel each other and recognize the connectivity between our relationships with each other, with children, with animals, and recognize that it is really all one and everything reflects everything else. And similar to a part that Patricia said, to really feel in our when we really feel in our beings the validity and the truth of something, we just can't easily act against it. It's no more just walling things off and compartmentalizing things inside of ourselves, but that we really open to recognize that the treatment of women and the treatment of children and the treatment of and of each other in general, I won't leave men out of that conversation either, that there's so much of that that is coming into the forefront of our awareness now and is being called upon for change, thank goodness. And I think we do need to recognize that again, we can't compartmentalize and say we're going to heal our relationships and treat each other respectfully here and not there, but that everything become open and we recognize how we treat the animals, how we treat the water, the air, the planet in general, and is carried out in a similar way with how we treat our children and care for the children and protect the children of our planet and each other. And so I think my vision is one that we can um, expand our senses and our sensory awareness to embody, to really like feel and embody the love and the compassion and the care that we all, I think, innately have for each other. I hope. and that can really be opened up in a grand way, so that it can bring about true change in not only in ideals, but in our inner knowing and in the way that we be in the world. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you.
How about Rose? Would you be open to going next? Nick, go ahead and unmute you. Let's see. Let's see. Rose?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Hello.
It's great to be here with all of you. I started a Facebook group inspired last year for the 7 days of rest called Love Mother Earth. And we just went over the 9,000 member mark today. And the group is growing. And one of the things we're focusing on is sharing a message of veganism, because we have to give back to the earth. We have to find whatever ways we can to deal with climate change issues. And the most effective way that we as individuals and collectively can deal with climate change issues is if we all switch to a plant-based diet. A lot of the work I do on Facebook and social networking is involved with women's global issues. So my vision for the future is that women globally realize the importance of eating a plant-based diet, and that way their children will be taught how to eat and how to cook, how to prepare food. And also the most important vision I think we all have to have is the interconnectedness that we have to all life on our planet right now. Particularly, there is no us and them. There are no boundaries between countries, between people, between animals and trees and nature. And once we get that, once we really, really envision this wholeness, this interconnectedness, then we are able to take that huge, tremendous evolutionary step that we must take for the survival of our species and so many species, and for a healthy future. And if we do these things, just simply one thing, just switch to a plant-based diet, there's our capacity to, our foundation to heal our world and to do it together in such a positive, amazing way. So that's my vision. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for mentioning specifically a plant-based diet. That's so key.
It is
What we're
key.
doing here. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. And let's see. Beth, would you like to share? I'll go ahead and prepare that.
Hi. Yeah, I've written a couple sentences. My 2020 vision for animals is that all animals will experience unconditional love from humans, and that we in turn will receive their love and wisdom, so we can learn from them ways to heal Mother Earth and promote vegan living. I will hold this vision and communicate it through my photos of rescued animals who are living in sanctuaries and who serve as ambassadors for their species, as well as through my writing that accompanies those images.
Beautiful. Thank you, Beth. Such a personal vision that will impact the world. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay. So if anyone's joining in, we're sharing our visions of empathy for 2020 coming from our hearts, and they may reflect our personal intentions and also collective. So let's see, how about Tammy, would you be willing to share?
Hi, Lisa. Sure, I would. I'm in New York. I'm in the Northeast, so I feel that I'm in the Eastern door that's been opened. And our sacred gift is healing. my vision for 2020 is that humanity and the earth come into a circle, but I see that the steps to get there, that we are missing some pieces. We have some extra pieces that don't fit anymore in our puzzle, in our circle, and we have pieces that are missing that we need to pick up and find. So my vision is for people to feel, be embodied, feel the warmth of compassion in their hearts for the earth, because we are just one part of this big ecosystem. And for all our human and non-human relatives, that we are able to heal by having the courage that, again, we learn from our animal relatives, to take a look at our story and recognize that it's our story, that it's how we got here, and to be open to a new story that we can co-create together. Let us cast off what doesn't serve us and really embrace this new future of peace, to change minds, because that is the best solution for all of us, to come into our own unique gifts and to have peace on earth. So that's it.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much, and for representing that northeast corner of the nation. I'm wondering if, let's see, how about James? Would you like to share? I'll go ahead and unmute you.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad you guys are having this. So I believe that everyone is already born vegan and they just don't know it. And then people haven't seen like what goes on, and because you see every kid, every adult loves dogs and cats, but just they haven't seen like the other side, like what they're eating. And I've been looking at the Google search engine, and then you look at the instances of searches for vegan diet and veganism, and you see it's growing. And even the last couple of years, 3 years, it's really taken off exponentially. So my vision is that's going to continue to grow, and then it's going to get, there's going to be more and more awareness. It's just going to almost like blow up, because we're seeing more people, like famous movie stars and everybody, talking about it. And people are going to say, what is this? They're going to look at it. And it's going to go into their Google, like their cookies. Next thing you know, they're going to start seeing videos, the videos that I saw that helped me like make a transition. And then there'll be that tipping point where we only need a small percentage of the population, then everybody hears about it. And then it's going to, the tablet is going to tip over, and the world's going to be. So 2020 is like, this is the century, this is the beginning of like where it's really the curve of where the search engine, where the people are becoming aware, is really starting to blow up. So that's my vision.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, James. And James was present at the Vegan 2026 conference a couple years ago.
That was nice.
Yeah. So there's a whole community of people that are part of this movement, Vegan 2026, if you're not aware of it. It's something started by Dr. Silas Rao, and I know many of us here are also part of that too. Deborah for sure. And so it's something that another way we can stay tuned in to this vision of 2020, which is on its way to 2026.
Yes.
So let's see, I think we have another person who's joined us, and I'd like to invite for you to speak. It looks like you're on the phone. Can you tell us your name?
Hi, Lisa. This is Monique
Hi,
from
Monique.
LA, but I'm in New Jersey right now. So I'm also in the northeast corner.
Great. Would you like to share your vision of empathy for 2020?
Well, it's been a bit hard the past 24 hours. I guess I'm going to ask for rapid, wide open eyes of why we speak as we do in 2020, such that 2020 is vision clear, with people who may have had a cloak over their eyes because of the way the system is. I also, I feel for empathy purposes too, I would love to see some religion or religions, possibly yours, be recognized federally, or if not worldwide, such that when vegans do speak, or we refrain from doing certain things because we're uncomfortable with it because it deals with animal products, but it's within the job, I would love if it could be what is called a protected religious class, such that we feel safe and we don't feel bullied and we do have recourse. So I feel that that would be something that I would wish for in this year. And I believe there is a couple religions that are trying to do that, one being biopantheism.
Yes, indeed. And that, your vision is actually on the heels of some good news from the UK. In Britain, they recently had a court case where they decided that veganism was one of the ethical moral guidelines that they can use in court cases. So that was a big change that hasn't happened yet, I don't think, in the United States. So having it happen in Britain is really encouraging that it can transfer to the United States. There's a gentleman named Stanley Sapone, and he had a website called Vegan Values, and he actually wrote out 10 vegan values, which was such a blessing. I have them and I can share them with people if they'd like. Just explaining what are the values of veganism. And he also wrote extensively on that topic of veganism as a religion, questioning it, considering it as a religious belief system. And he explained that according to the United States Constitution, there really isn't a reason why veganism couldn't be considered a religion. So that is, I think, a hot topic and one that could be coming to the forefront in 2020. So thank you for sharing that, Monique.
Thank you. I did see that article, but I didn't know about Stanley, and I'm on the website now, so I will check it out, and I just got the chills. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, this is really a treat for all of us to be together and to harness this compassion and empathy moving out in all directions for the animals. And I wanted to see if anyone had anything else they'd like to share as part of this this program today for empathy. Let's see. Yes, Patricia. Go ahead. Let's see here. I'm gonna
I got it then. I got it.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Well, I wanted to say that I will go back and listen to this recording and take notes. Although I know Lisa and Judy are so great at that, but I probably will do so, and then I will incorporate everything everyone said into the community facilitator curriculum, which I am developing, and with the encouragement of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition, and Lisa and Judy have just been the most encouraging people that I've ever experienced in my entire life of volunteerism. And in the animal rights movement, that I come in like I got a million ideas, and they instead of going, wait a minute, we're so busy we can't listen to them, they just really welcomed me. And my creativity is just exploding, as well as my practical application. So I want you to know this is really happening, and also the compassionate living circles, which uh, the I forget all these the IVA, IVC, uh, in, Interfaith Vegan Coalition has been working on. I'm going to support them, and I have a couple of lifelong, really long-term friends that I want to join me. So I'm just super excited, and thank you all for sharing your vision, because I want to make them all. I want to help make them come true.
Yes, exactly. That's part of why we're here together, is because by witnessing and hearing and integrating these visions of each one of us who shared them, we can help to magnify them and help them to manifest in the coming year. So that's the beauty of all of us being together, and that circle extending even further out to the people who are observing and participating in spirit through the live feed. So it's really a blessing to have all of us together so that we can bring these ideas and these ideals into fruition. Yeah, and some of the things that Patricia was sharing is our Interfaith Vegan Coalition. If anyone's curious and wants to learn more about that, you can go to interfaithvegancoalition.org, or there's also a Facebook group. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring vegan values into the places of worship through faith-based vegan advocacy. And we have all kinds of materials, including advocacy kits that people can find on the website. And those kits are for people who maybe you belong to a church or to a synagogue or to a temple, and you want to bring those ideals into your place of worship. You can start with those kits. They have ideas for events. They've got scriptures that speak specifically about veganism for each tradition. And we also have poems and stories, things that you can share with your communities. And so it's a way to feel and to know that you're part of a larger community, and we're all here to help each other to kind of raise the vibration, as you might say, in our places of worship, and to take that next step to really bring veganism into the traditions that are faith-based, which is where it started. It all began, or as they say, where did it all began? There in with our spiritual leaders, and now we're circling back to rediscovering that. One of the projects of our Interfaith Vegan Coalition is we attended the Parliament of World Religions in 2018, and we're hoping to help the next Parliament of World Religions, which I think will be in 2 more years, to be a vegan event. So we're really looking towards that as well. And we have other projects that we're working on, and we hope that you can join us. You can join in, receive the newsletters, or attend our meetings and get active. We definitely need volunteers, as Patricia's mentioned. We're encouraging of people who want to help and have some time to help us to create this vision and to be more and more active in the community, so that we can take a stand against and for various events that happen in the world, and share what the Interfaith Vegan Coalition has to say about that. So that's part of this. It's really 2020, this year, if you're into numerology or if you're into uh, astrology or spirituality in general, the 2020 really symbolizes this building of a foundation. And that's what we're doing. We're laying a firm foundation for our beliefs, for our dreams and our visions, and for our passion projects. Those things are happening right now. So we're putting forth the blueprint for what we're going to do in the 2020, in the roaring 20s, in this decade. So all the seed projects that we've been working on for a few years, now's the time to get the nuts and bolts together so that we can have that foundation and we can catapult from there. So it's a key year in being able to manifest our visions. And each one of you has shared a vision today. And if you'd like to add anything to that, feel free if you'd like to do that while we have this open door. Anyone else have something they'd like to share? I'd like to encourage people to join Rose's group, which I learned about today, and I'm so excited. So Rose, would you just let us know a little bit about your group and how we can join it? Let's see, I will.
Okay. The Love Mother Earth group it's a group on Facebook, and I think it's probably pretty easy to find. I use the hashtag Love Mother Earth, and that's got to be out there if you put that even in the search. So I don't know how to share on Zoom, but yeah, everybody's welcome. And we're trying to keep the group as positive as possible with all the, there's a lot going on in the world right now. And I think that for our group, what we want to really focus on is really how do we deepen our love and connection for the planet. And that's the key thing I think we all need to consider, what we can do as individuals. And what does Love Mother Earth mean is the question we ask when people come into the group, to try to get people to think in terms of how we might be giving back. Again, I think that's a real key factor in everything we do in our world right now. So I hope people can find us, Love Mother Earth, or you can see my name, Rose Trebs. You can send me a message in Messenger and I'll give you the link. Thank you so much for inquiring. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Rose. And also, Deborah, would you mind sharing a bit about Vegan 2026, just how people might get involved in that?
Sure. Yeah, so Vegan 26 is the Climate Healers mission. And the mission of that group is to bring a lot of different pieces together that need to come together, because when you look at the animal agriculture industry being the number one, and it's way understated right now, but it is by far the number one contributor to greenhouse gases and the effect of climate change. And right now it really infiltrates every part of life. So there's a lot of pieces to come together to bring us into a vegan world. And the vision is really, it's being brought together by Sailesh Rao, Dr. Sailesh Rao, who has a lot of information, a lot of data and details about climate change and about the impact of various parts of, various things on the planet and how they impact climate change. And his mission is to bring about a vegan world by 2026. And I believe there are, cosmically, astrologically, many things that are moving that are helping things to align on that level. And the Vegan 2026 is like helping things to align on this level so that we can all move into that way. We really, because of what's happening with climate change, we've got to stop. We've got to stop making excuses. We've got to stop saying, well, we've got time. We don't have time. We've got to make the changes, and we've got to make them now. And there are a lot of things that, we can very simply say, okay, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. I'm not going to eat any animal products anymore. I'm not going to live in a way that supports the harm of animals anymore. We can, each and every one of us, do that very simply, because we don't need it anymore. Our world has enough alternative where, we can, about that quick, just make the decision and do it. And there are a lot of things when you look at the interweavings into, like, the financial systems and all of the things that drive the financial systems, and into and these are a lot my words more than Sailesh, but, and into so many things that are interwoven into life. But he's bringing all of that together. He's bringing discussions about money, and discussions about collective intelligence, and discussions about spirituality and compassion, and and the diet and the lifestyle and everything that together, so that we can say, okay, how can we transition and really make it to by 2026 so that we can avoid, hopefully, the catastrophic climate change event that is on the horizon if we just continue to ignore it. So that's what 2026 is about. We've got, I have my personal group is the Community for Conscious Living. I just earlier today did a Facebook Live with Darmindra Gordon, who I met through the Vegan 2026 group. He leads the vegan, um, uh, what is he called? The Vegan Synergy Meditation group for the Vegan World 2026. And it's all about bringing our hearts and I'll say, soul spirit level together so that we can um, I'm going to put it in my words, harmonize, right, for the collective to bring that into being. So we just did that Facebook Live today, and that was a lot of fun. And that was live in the Community for Conscious Living. Lisa, I've got you and Judy that are going to come on in February to talk to our Community for Conscious Living group, and I'm very excited about that. And then in March, we'll have another summit for the Vegan World 2026. We did one in October of last year, and we're doing another one in March of this year, which is going to be with Silas Rao. And I'm not sure who all he's going to be bringing on this year. He had a great group of people on last year in October. So I think, we're going to do them every like 4 months. So anyway, stay tuned for that. That's going to be the first week in March. And so that's part of what I'm doing. I also lead a Sunday morning prayer and healing group that is, just for, as I call it, it's personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. So those are the things that I'm doing to contribute through Community for Conscious Living and through the Vegan World 2026.
Wow, so exciting. This is wonderful to mention all of this during our event today. So you can see how we're planning it out. 2020 is being planned out in terms of the kinds of contributions that each of us individually and within our groups are making to heal the planet and to encourage a peaceful planet through veganism. So it's really wonderful and such a treat to get to hear all this juicy upcoming events and fun things. And for those of you who are new to our community, we also run a vegan spirituality online gathering, Judy and I, each month. So you can find that information at veganspirituality.com, or you can also find it through the Vegan Spirituality Facebook page or through In Defense of Animals, which is our mothership. And that events page is idausa.org/events. For anyone who's doing an individual project and does want some support, we also run a support line for people who either have concerns or want to get some feedback on some great ideas. Or need some assistance with their faith-based projects. And you can reach us at idausa.org/activist support, or you can dial the phone number 800-705-0425. Just putting that out there into the universe so everyone knows that there is support and help for your individual ideas too. We're excited to share these wonderful projects, but we also want to support the ones that are going on individually, each person, because each one of us really makes a difference. So I'm very grateful to all of you for tuning in today, for spending this time together to share and to really magnify what we're doing together and also for the planet. So let's take a moment. Maybe we'll do a little breathing and connecting with Mother Earth, and then have a little closing together. So let's take a moment, take in a deep breath, hold the breath into your heart, and then as you exhale, let the breath go all the way down through your body into your feet or into whatever part of you is connecting to the earth. And we'll take another couple breaths that way, breathing in, letting the breath be held in your heart, bathe it with love, and then exhale, release the breath, release all of your good energy into the earth. and she can use it for healing and for transformation. And then we'll just take a moment and bring our awareness into our hearts. And from here, just imagine that little light that's there that starts around this time of year. And in our area, it's the winter time, so we have that little bit of light that's shining through and growing and growing and growing each day. It's becoming more and more bright and brilliant. And that's what's going to be happening with our vision of empathy for 2020. Each day, as we experience more sunlight, we experience more growth and more integration of this vision of 2020 being the year of empathy for all beings, that empathy surrounds the planet and that it actually becomes part of the fabric of our being, and that this vision is the reality of our world in the decade to come. So we'll take a moment just to hold that vision in our hearts and our minds and our vessel of our body. And honoring each passion project that we learned about today and those that are in process or even still in the seed part of development. And with that, we'll very gently begin to hold this vision in our hearts as if we're holding it in our hands. And then, just like if it was a bird or a beautiful insect or butterfly, imagine that you could just blow that beautiful vision out into the universe and let those wings of that vision fly and flutter and flap so that it can take flight. And just know and trust that our union today, our experience today of building empathy will do just that. So thank you to each and every one of you who shared your vision today. Thank you to the people who have joined us online and are also holding this vision and also their own visions. Thank you to the 7 Days of Rest community and Radiant Diversity who's created this global event of which we could be a part of it today. So thank you to everyone. And one wonderful way to close is there's a little saying, it actually goes along with a movement gesture, which is Namaste Vegan. It's just such a lovely one that we learned from Frank, who's a member of our coalition. So Namaste Vegan. Wonderful. Oh, it's beautiful. How nice to see all these vegan symbols. And thanks to everyone for spending this joyous time together. And I just wish you all a glorious rest of your day. And let's stay in touch through all these various groups and ways to stay connected. It's really a blessing. And I just wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lisa.
Peace to all beings.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.